Welcome back. You remember that song? By Mace. You ever heard that shit?
What?
You ever heard that song before?
I think I probably heard, but I didn't know there was a name attached to it.
Yeah, Mace used to have some hits for real.
Mace?
Yeah, Mace. I think that's Mace. I don't know. Leave it in the comments. Tell me if I'm wrong or not.
For sure.
You really have to stop hitting the table that way.
Sorry.
You can hear all that on the recording.
Oh, I didn't know that. My bad.
It's a terrible way to do that.
Gotcha.
Welcome back for real. We already did this before. What you guys don't know, we already did this once. But, dude, I was going through such a shitty time. Like, I think through moving, through working, through the relationship, so on and so forth, I think I just had a burned out effect. Like, I was just going through it all the way lost. Where are you going? Okay, so for people who are not watching this, this guy brought fucking the most savage alcohol concoction with himself. He brought fucking Skull, and if you know, you know. Fucking ridiculous. And then he has a huge ass buzzball.
It's a buzz blizzy.
Which I've been hearing a lot about these buzzballs lately and haven't copped them for shit, but it's hilarious that he bought this. I don't even know why. My girlfriend's gonna be so mad at me. Like, why are you still drinking?
Sorry about that. I'm a terrible for it.
It's like such ASMR. That's ASMR. What is it? ASMR. Hilarious. Okay, this is the last time you need to touch this table.
I will. All right, but yeah, what's it called? It's definitely good to be back. I will say that it's been a pretty busy year. Definitely going to be a wild year in terms of the elections next one, but other than that, it's been going good. I hope everyone's all right.
Yeah, one thing we're not going to do is talk about politics. That's fucking dead.
That's
one thing I do not want to chime in on. I don't.
Oh, yeah, fuck that. Yeah, I know.
I just feel like we probably, like, I feel like nobody should talk about politics. Like, financials or politics is just out the window for me, unless we're like, I don't know, making a business thing together. Like, fuck that. I don't care who you voted for. I don't care who you want to vote for. Like, I'd rather keep in my mind that everybody's not racist and we're all okay.
Yeah, for real, bro.
You don't want to hear anything. But now, last time we did this, bro, I was just like on a burnout entirely, bro. I was just working too hard, putting too much on my plate. Yeah. And then, like, found myself, like, feeling discouraged, a little sad, a little just like, fuck, this is hard, I don't know where I'm going type shit. No, okay. And so I started drinking a little bit too much. So, like, when you came through, like, I was, like, kind of just waking up out of my stupor and just kind of, like, really, really low. My brain was kind of everywhere. I was just kind of really fucking sleepy. Today I decided to sleep in. Like, I didn't go to the gym or nothing. I took my girl to work.
Oh, okay.
Came home and I just slept through because I really wanted my mind to be clear and able to do this with you. So, my bad for sending you up yesterday. My bad for, like,
you're all good.
The shitty shit last time. Like, it's crazy. You try to make a mental health podcast and forget about your own mental health.
Oh, dude, that's totally fine. Because, like, in the end of it all, it's like, like they say, people got to know that, everyone's like, going through their, rearranging their wires and just, just pretty much looking out forward. Facts. Everything's a cluttered mess, and the only thing we could do is just kind of, move the pieces forward, and hopefully you can breathe a little bit, make it less congested. But
that's all it has to be.
That's all good.
And these Groots, if you guys are not watching, these Groots are not fucking cooperating with.
These Groots are definitely, no, I think they're just leaning on him now, so I think they're good.
They're just, like, not working. But anyway, tell people about yourself, bro. Tell me your name, tell me your age, tell me where you come from.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Burt Fondue. Usually just Burt these days, but my real government name is Brett. For a while, I've been always the type of guy to just hang back in the background. I've always been the type of person to basically either pop up at events, kind of give my own little commentary or just on things, or really just kind of like, kick back, light a blunt and pass it around, bring a bottle around. I've always been the kind of guy to just be like a Rockefeller. I just pop up and just be cool about it. Shit, people be like, oh, what you want? I'm like, jack fucking shit, but you want to fucking hit? And they're like, oh, yeah, sure. And
like I'm not doing anything at all.
I'm not doing anything at all. And then, finally now it's like, years go by, you start finding hidden talents here and there, and I think the best the person can do is just, figure it out along the way. I mean, being young is good. I think being older...
How old are you?
I'm 29.
You said
right
that already? Did I miss that? You think you're 29?
I'm 29 years old, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm 28 now. I just made it to 28. How do you feel?
Awesome.
How do you feel about knocking on 30, man? I feel like 30 is the scariest shit.
I'm going to tell you right now, I still feel like I'm fucking 19, dude.
I still feel mad young, but then, like, I chill around young people, and I'm like, fuck, like, I wish I was 23
It's
again.
like I'm an old soul, but I have so much left to learn, so much left to enjoy, and I know even the young folks got a lot to teach me, so I got to be able to keep an open mind and open ear and stuff. But at the same time, I also got to be able to do everything with a grain of salt, because that's where, that's where intelligence ends, when nobody asks questions.
Facts. And I think people don't ask enough questions. And I feel like people are always mad at me, like they're always like, you're always challenging people, but I'm really just trying to dig for the truth. The actual core of everything. You want people to explain themselves, and that's nothing wrong with that. If they have to explain themselves and they get on the defensive, maybe because they don't believe in it themselves. They're uncomfortable and they have no confidence. And when you challenge their confidence, it's a very impassioned view sometimes, and they just feel the need to just kind of get a little abrasive. But again, who knows if that's just, been unchecked for. I know people that, love to discuss and rebuttal, and I like it when someone has a differing opinion, because that means that they're human. They're not just about listening. And they're not just following the fucking crowd in the way. Yeah, being complicit, 100%. I think it's okay to challenge everybody and have a different idea, even if it's wrong, even if it's unorthodox. Like we know the color of the sky, right? But even if you want to argue with me that it's purple, I'm still interested in listening to that. Yeah, totally. Why you think that? Because that's, like you said, intelligence stops when we stop doing shit like that. Yeah, I think we need to do that 100%. It's okay to agree to disagree and stuff. There's always good ways to go about it. It's just a matter of, okay, there's always a bit of humility in it. Sometimes some folks I knew just want to be right. They want to sound right, even when they lose. Even when they're wrong, they just want to be right. What do you think that, you think that's, really, how you say, attached to your ego and pride? Even when you're wrong, you're trying to find a loophole to be right because you feel so shitty about it. Why does that hurt people's feelings? It's like, bro, 1 + 1 is 2, right? It's like, if you're wrong about that shit, there's no way that you can be right about it. So why do you sit here and fuss and cry and try to make some type of loophole to why you were wrong or why you can't be right? I feel most people only do that because ego comes with experience, and that ego is kind of a collective of triumphs and overcomings, and when a new challenge presents itself, they're being put to the test, and that person you see under pressure that's about to crack, that's the real them. So, and you think so the mask is the ego, and once that mask comes off, then they kind of. I feel like there's 3 different masks. I feel like there's the one you show your parents or your loved ones. The one the Japanese show mask. Yeah. But more importantly, I feel like it can break, it can crack and wither, and if you choose to continue that, with what people identify you as, then okay, take it with stride and fill the creeks with gold and whatnot. But what mask do you think you're showing me right now? I'm trying to show the one I've been trying to show everyone else, man. It hurts because, it's like when my face is like this, oh yeah, this is the real me, right? But when I put a mask on, oh yeah, I feel that guy. I would say for sure I'm definitely the guy that comes out right out the door. With my brother, yeah, you would probably say this is the same guy he's talking to. When I'm by myself, oh yeah, that's when I just, There's a whole different person. That's me right there. It interests me that we even have a mask when we're by ourselves, right? Because that's the time where all masks should come down. And I guess that's the real you, quote unquote, or the real mask that you wear every day. But can we talk about how, what's the word? How deteriorating or how tiresome it could be to wear these masks. I'm a server in a restaurant, right? Yeah, I work in the industry, so you have to show up as a certain person to not only sell the restaurant, sell yourself, your hygiene, the image, everything, all this shit. And there's some days where I'm like, bro, I don't want to brush my teeth, I don't want to get in the shower, I got a fucking pimple and shit, I didn't get a haircut. You just feel shitty, but you still have to show up, and even if you look shitty, you still have to show up with this mask on. Yeah. And it's the most tiresome shit to do. Especially when it comes down to doing it with your family. If you, have to go to a little birthday party or something, so now you gotta act happy for that. You gotta, go say what's up to your girl. You gotta go to the gym and feel a certain way. You have to go to work. This whole day, you've just been wearing this fucking mask for different people. And by the time you get home and you take them off, you're like, fuck, who the fuck am I anymore? Not only am I, I'm fucking tired, one. I'm dumb tired. Yeah. But two, it's damn, I've been wearing this mask for so long. When I take it off, when I see what's underneath it, I'm almost surprised about what's actually there. I would say definitely that the thing about the ideas of a mask, and even Christopher Nolan went into great debate about this, is that it's meant to be an added protection. It's meant to be a thing where it can get dirty, withered, and all insults, all jokes aside, that's done at our expense. The mask takes it all. The armor bends itself, and finally, when you take it off, you're finally able to breathe. You can be your flawed, stinky self and just enjoy and marinate in what
is. And I feel like the thing about masks is that a lot of people understand that human beings are very layered people. There is definitely that whole thing where it's just the person that is stepping right out the door and the person that's inside their room. Totally valid. I just think that in that case, a person is just who they present to you themselves as to you. Take it as it is, because a lot of times when people are in their rooms or just on social media by themselves, it's usually the most functioning version of it, and it might not be well greased, it might be rusty even, but they're still going.
Yeah, and I think it can create a lot of like trust issues, right? Like it's almost like, I forgot what they said. Like you don't really know a person until like 6 months in or some shit like that.
Yeah.
And I always think about
I think you only know a person until you get into your first argument.
Facts.
I think,
but it's also like the way you grow with people, right? Because like even when you finally get to know them, they're still changing and growing and learning every fucking day. I always think about it with my girlfriend too. Like I'm like, when I met you, you were one way, but now here we are living together. I'm like, you're a completely different person.
People are like
but I experienced the growth with her, so I'm like, okay, this is who you like. You like you said, you kind of shut off that mask once you get comfortable with people. And it's interesting that you said it's a protection, because I never thought about it that way. Like protecting what, like the inner child, the inner me. Like that's insane.
Just protection of oneself. Like everyone says that we are human beings experiencing a spiritual journey, and I think no. I think we're spiritual beings experiencing a human experience. That's what I meant to say.
Oh, I was going to say that was deep.
Yeah.
Experiencing a human experience.
Yeah, a spirit experiencing the human experience, as opposed to just a human going through a spiritual journey.
No.
Or spiritual experience. Because, like, a lot of people forget that, like, health kind of goes one-on-one with your inner workings. Like, I feel great, but my body says otherwise. I'm covered in scars. I'm sad sometimes when I'm by myself, or just even then. That's okay. That's just the body and the way it's done. And if I really wanted to, I'd stay busy. I'd do other stuff. Or I'd probably just, I would go out of my way to maybe make the other things a little more better. Maybe, fix some things around. Maybe just get around the project that I want. But it's like you said about, protection. Some folks really just feel very vulnerable. And you
have to put that mask on to protect that.
Yeah. Absolutely. And sometimes people are just not comfortable with themselves. Like, I feel like I'm smaller than I am, but when I go into the world, everyone's like, bro, you're like fucking built. You're like a tank. I'm like, no, dude, there are other people way bigger than me, way taller than me.
Oh, that's that comparison, man. Everybody fucks themselves up with that comparison. When do you think you're most confident and you're most healthiest?
The smallest? Oh, well.
When do you think that?
Most confident and most healthiest, I feel like when I'm actually just feel complete. I'm not in pain. I'm able to breathe through my nostrils right. I wake up with a kid-like wonder instead of a boner. I
mean, that might make you feel complete.
Yeah.
With a boner.
Yeah, just being able to get up and just, I'm like, just being able to say, hey, I want to get up and eat something.
Facts.
That's life after that, Whatever after that is an adventure. And
I love that. For me, it's when I'm like, I guess the same, like completely put together. When like I have an itinerary for the day and I like meet everything and like wake up on time and like brush my teeth, do my prayers, do my fucking stretches, get my girlfriend to work, go to the gym, like I'm showering, I'm eating, and like it's like 10:30 in the morning and I'm like eating, and now I'm like getting to start my day, and I feel like I've already hit so many things on my list, and now I can go like read and write and
that's good to do
play.
Because it's good to do that because like when you work on stuff you don't want to work on, that's good. It's good to work on stuff you don't want to do.
No, facts. It's a hard thing to do too. Like I have an episode coming up, like mental health and artists, right? Because I feel like, and I just had this conversation. I just went to the studio with my homie Rashad. Shouts to you. But we were there and we were talking, and it's like, how hard is it to wake up every day and do these tasks or work on something that nobody's telling you good job for? Like nobody's sitting here in your face and being like, yo, you just fucking learned, the C scale today, and like you just. Fucking, I don't know, like, you passed this level in this game that you could never get past.
You just learned a new procedure that's going to make you look like a total badass in front of everyone. And everyone's going to give you dirty stares because you took the time to learn it.
Facts. Facts. But nobody's sitting there like, hey, you have to do this. Like, you have to go to work. You have to do these things.
One of my favorite things is sometimes when they ask you your procedure and you kind of explain it to them in your own special way so that they could kind of pick up on it, and it's their choice whether they want to do the same thing or do their own version of it. Like you said about art. Like for example, I'd imagine when you learn a C scale, it's because you're producing a type of sound that otherwise will fit to the song, right?
Yeah. Okay. Like that.
In a sense, as a newly picked up artist, I only picked up the Art Life like literally just half a year ago. So I'd say this January I just picked up the Art Life, and I would say that it's very interesting when you're passing on information towards one another, and to be like, hey, how do you do that chrome finish? How do you sand these parts? How do you do this and that? And like, they just talk away. It's like, damn, you could have just you just told me like nothing. That was your life's procedure right there.
Yeah.
And he's like, bro, I could have just told you to look it up on fucking YouTube, but I'm not a dick.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna be a dick right in front of you instead. Here, how to do it. Blah 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 blah.
And here's how you do it all. Yeah. And that's interesting information, but it's like it's really tough for anybody to continue to do that, and it's a whole nother like rabbit hole I'm gonna get into, but
yeah, that's fine.
It's an episode I'm coming out with because it's so hard to like you said to get things done, to work on things that you probably don't have the energy for, or probably don't want to, and there's no instant gratification for it. There's no money behind it. There's no kiss or pat on the back. It's you sitting alone at your computer, learning, practicing, doing things by yourself, and how hard it is to actually do that.
I think it's the desire that overwhelms the person in that case, because you're right. There are moments where I've even been in bed where I need to build my Gundam. Also, viewers, I like to model make, so I just make cars, robots, or whatever. I wake up in the morning and I think, okay, I have to sand each and every piece of that thing.
Yeah.
And then I have to clean it, and I have to prime it, and then I have to fucking paint it. But if I want it soft as a baby's ass, I have to fucking sand it again, reprime it, and then paint it. Doing things and doing it the right way is often the less desirable route. But when they see that you do that, like spick and span, 1, 2, 3... that's where your value increases, and that's where people kind of see you differently, because it's not about exactly what you can do. It's about doing the stuff you don't want to do, and you're doing it so good. Those are the people that are paid the most. Those are the people that are, like, really desired. But it's very hard to find them, too, because even they're struggling with the whole, man, I did all this cool-ass shit, and where the fuck is my pat in the back? You know? You, motherfucker, you're the king and throne, kingdom, and subject and audience. And so, unfortunately, that's where narcissism can play a good route sometimes, or play a good role. It helps the person motivate themselves and stay ahead, and then when they finally get that, appraisal, I know that it sucks that they have to be humble.
You have to love what you do at the end of the day. You have to love it and care about it enough to actually get it done right. But
what were you going to say, though? Like, what's your take on that? Because I think you probably have, like, an opinion on what I had on that, no?
For what? For
the sense of urgency.
Yeah. Well, so, for example, we can use this podcast, for example, right? Like, I had a sense of urgency to get it done because I wanted to be consistent, because I wanted to, for myself and for the viewers and for the people that give a fuck about what I'm doing. I'm like, I don't want to like lose these people. I want to be consistent. I have to get it done.
Of course.
But then I thought about, it's quality over quantity. So I can sit here and have bullshit conversations for an hour. We can run in circles. We can be halfway drunk. We can be talking about absolutely nothing that would help anybody.
No doubt.
You know what I mean? Like, we can completely lose the purpose of this podcast within the podcast, and just for the sake of posting content, I can do that. Or I can actually sit here and make talking points and print the shit out and find somebody that actually wants to talk about it and make sure my mental is okay and make sure that person is okay and make sure that I'm sober and well off and well enough to have this conversation and produce a quality thing, right? Like, so like you said, for example, like the sanding, the painting, like this is my sanding, this is my painting, this is me making sure, like,
this is the procedure.
This is not a fucking Gundam, that's just some random shit I threw together. Like, it is, but at the same time, I went through all the nooks and crannies to make sure it's as polished as possible so I feel good about it when it's out. Fuck that I've been a month late. Like, by the way, sorry to everybody. I have not released things in a while, but
I will say that, though, where that right there, that's where you strike gold. Yeah. Because when you're self-aware, that's good. It's good to be self-aware.
Facts.
Because a lot of folks are very, like, so deep delving into their own narrative. Sometimes it takes a lot to step back and think that, man, sometimes their core values might be wrong. And
that's deep.
It's always good to always reevaluate and always keep adapting to the situation. Yeah, it's going to get harder, no doubt, and I commend you for it because you are a one-man band right now.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah,
everything from the editing, from the sitting down, like,
for anyone that's watching and listening, all power to them. Thank you guys.
No, thank you. I appreciate you because sometimes, like, like, To some people, they're probably going to turn this off by now. Like, this has been 20 minutes and these guys talk about nothing. Other people, they feel like there's value in it. And
they forget that sometimes they need to just, like, relax and pretend a conversation with people and have this playing in the background. You know? Because, like, podcasts are meant to be those conversations that you wish you can go to a bar for. Or just go to a party for and be like, hey, yo.
I mean, that's kind of how it started.
Yeah.
me sitting at bars and things and, like, realizing these conversations and how deep they can actually be and how much they can help people. And I was like, you know what? I want to have these conversations more intentionally. Like, you know, like, I don't want to just get fucked up at 3 a.m. at a bar and just, like, start spilling feelings about, you know, our exes and our fucking moms and shit. Like, you know, don't get me wrong. Those conversations, like, that's what I'm saying. These conversations are very, very beautiful. And I feel like I have these conversations a lot with people. And, like, we're opening something within each other that makes us feel not only vulnerable, but protected and, like, soothed. And, like, these are things that we haven't been able to share with people. So it takes them to get to that place. It has to be 3 a.m. You have to have a certain amount of drugs in you. You have to be on a certain level to share that. I'm like, well, what if we could do that intentionally, though, without all that?
I feel like people know themselves enough to know what they're going to ingest in themselves to do that. Yeah. It likes to be just like that. You know, I always wanted to, like, you know, I always wanted to pull off a Hunter S. Thompson dude, you know, just like, hey, here's a little something and just relax, just buddy. Chill, just relax. And yeah, sometimes some people can't handle it, some people can't take it, and sometimes people are grown enough and old enough to know what the fuck they can take.
No, facts.
So at that point, I think it's just a matter of being responsible. But I do feel like, you know, going back to the subject of stagnation or being stagnant or trying to keep consistent, I feel like in the end of the day, you're the one that makes the goal marker because the goal's there. Yeah. Everyone knows what they want. But I feel like in the end of the day, they're going to find out what they want to, you know, what's going to be the grand wow.
Yeah, and like to go back to what you said about reevaluating, redefining, being consistent, all those different things. Mm-hmm. I think 100% that's what I've been doing in my life lately, like running as fast as I can towards my goal and then either tripping over my own shoelaces or running into a fucking crack in the street. But like those moments, it's like, how do you treat those moments? Are you gonna bounce back from that and learn from it, or are you gonna let that shit make you like let it?
It's almost like you said though, but if you would take what you will from this, it's about the journey.
It's always about the journey, but I feel like that's easier said than done. I feel like anybody on any journey or any adventure, like it's sometimes hard to look up and be like, yo, I'm thankful for just having this journey. And I think that's something that we need to say more often. Like, yes, it's a journey, it's an adventure, it's fucking, it's beautiful. Yeah. It's very beautiful what you're going through, and you should be grateful for every moment and be happy and find the peace in that. Mm-hmm. But I think I speak for a lot of people when I'm like, bro, fuck this journey, dog.
Yeah, that's what
like, fuck this shit, dog. It hurts. My feet hurt. I'm tired, G. Like, I just want to get there already. I'm only going to say this sentence
just so that we can move on to the next topic, but this is only for the sake of contingency. I remember that in the journey, like you said, fuck the journey. This journey's not worth it.
It pisses me off
sometimes. It pisses me off. It's about the destination. But then I got to the destination several times in life, and I realized that the characters that I met, the progress that I was making more for myself on the way than when I finally got to the end goal. Because then there's just levels after that shit. It's just levels. That was the icebox. That was levels after this shit, and there's always going to be that whole, all right, now I've made it to Jay-Z status. What the fuck is
what
next?
What now?
What's my competition?
You're gonna
the
keep
fucking
going.
Church? Like,
no, that's the thing. That's what I say. Appreciate the journey, because there's sometimes you put your head down and you work, and then you get to where you're going, and you still feel unfulfilled, and you didn't meet anybody along the way. You didn't pick up any skills along the way, because you kind of just was like head down. Let me go, instead of like walking around like, oh shit.
Just enjoying the
this is new things I can learn. So like respectfully, it is about the journey, and it is about, you know, just being completely like, gratitude has brought me peace. And sometimes when I'm like, I could be late for work, or I could just be at work like, fuck this place, or I could be in an argument with my girlfriend, all these things that like make me uncomfortable and can make me upset, sometimes I thank God for that. Sometimes I'm just like, man, I'm complaining about my job right now, but thank God for this job. You know what I mean? Like my girlfriend's being a bitch right now, but I'm so glad I have her. Like, you know what I mean?
Like I might be a wage slave, but I'm alive. I have enough to survive.
And you have to find your way in those things.
Yeah, no doubt, totally.
No, 100%. You sent me like 1,000 topics, and I love that you did this because it made my job a lot easier, a lot easier to do.
I love options, man. You know, that's what I go to face for it.
I pick people to have this podcast with, the people that I can learn from, or people I feel like I can learn from me, one or the other. Not because like I know everything, I don't know shit. But if I feel like a person is like needs that kind of boost of confidence, I'm willing to give it to them. or if a person is inspiring me, like if I come to a person's house and I'm like, damn, like you got this, I want to talk to you about it. Like, how the fuck do you get it? Because I want to be where you go.
Oh yeah, dude, I would love to do a future episode where we're just surrounded by just a bunch of art.
We'll get there. Honestly,
we'll get there.
Speaking of that, I want to put something right here, and I just don't know what. I want like a really cool painting.
I got you one
right
day.
there.
I got
that should
you
be
one day.
sick.
We'll see. We'll see.
Like for real, not only for viewership, but just because we need some fucking art in this place, bro.
I definitely would say that people need to see what we're seeing. So you know what makes us fucking go.
Facts. I don't know what you'll be drinking right now, but it's gross. But it's okay. Thank you. I appreciate it. But you made my job a lot easier. Usually, I pick people and I like just come up with like there's a basis of first questions, right? Just getting to know the person, have you explain yourself, and then I'm always like trying to break that person down. Like if I see this person is I don't know, dealing with a lot of anxiety, then maybe I'll write my questions around anxiety.
Oh, okay.
If I see this person is dealing with a lot of like childhood trauma, maybe I'll write my questions around childhood trauma.
I'm Hispanic, bro. I work well under pressure.
You are a very interesting character. I don't even know. To be honest with you, I don't remember when I met you, how we met, what the fuck we were doing.
I have a pretty good memory of it, but I'm going to definitely keep it in the best light of it. So, I will say this. So, Rio, you were always a very good chap. I would always say you're a really dapper gentleman. I was always a piece of work. I was scruffy. I love arguing, and I had to learn how to get over that because, in the end of the day, being right ain't cracked up to be. When I met you and stuff, like, we were both just, we're trying to make do. A dub to us was like a whole afternoon of fun, it was like, hey, pull up. I wasn't even the type of guy to, like be like, yo, who got 5 on this bag or who got 10 on it? I'll be like, yo, I got weed. Who gonna smoke right now? And y'all would hit me up, be like, yo, what you want, man? Got any bud? I'm like, hell yeah. We pop up and shit, yeah, we're smoking whatever. Usually I'm the type of guy to not give a fuck, but let's say if I'm like, running low on weed, I'm running all this stuff, yeah, I'll probably ask my homies, yeah, come on, man, spark up a little bit back, yeah. But whatever, who cares? I would definitely say that I was going through a period of time where I was not sleeping, I wasn't going through well, my mom was dating a man at the time, and whatever, it was shit, like, I was literally like 24 years old being told to come home at 8 o'clock at night. And I was hanging out with you guys, bro. We could have gone to fucking Ozzy's crib and fucking got high on the fucking corner of a bathroom.
That's all we used to do is like smoke.
I wish we could have fucking done that, but I didn't do that life because I just loved my parents and I wanted to live my situation and where I was at.
All right.
But if I didn't give a fuck, if I was cool about it, I would have moved in with some homies and I probably got the best nights of my life with you homies. But from what I've seen over the years, everyone's living their own life.
Well, you didn't miss out on anything, to be honest with you.
I felt like I missed out on so much.
You didn't miss out on much. I mean, all we did was hurt each other's feelings, hurt our own feelings, hurt other people's feelings.
That's what I'm saying, though, but I could have been there to help, man. I could have been like, yo, don't forget about what started you. I could have knocked somebody out. Like, who cares, man?
Oh, my God.
Yeah, I would definitely say that. Had I kept my ducks in a row, I would definitely say we would have gone farther than where we were heading. Yeah, some people need to be told stuff because they don't like being told their shit. I was not perfect either. I had to get told my shit. But what mattered is that there was an amount of love that was still there years following. Because in those years that went by, man, brother, I fucking blew up the world, man. I fucking destroyed so much because I felt robbed of a victory that life took from me that was never there.
Oh, explain that. Let's embark on that one before we get into these questions because that sounds deep. Well, first of all, repeat that again. Say that one more time. You blew up the world because you felt like you were robbed.
I blew up my own world because I felt robbed from the victory that life robbed from me that I felt.
And what does that mean exactly?
I felt like I wanted.
What is a victory?
The victory was being the main character, getting the girl that everyone's swooning after, getting invited to every function, being cool with your parents, having everything in check. And I had that position where I would have just been a cool all-around guy. My own version of it. It won't be perfect, it won't be everyone's standard, but to me, at least, I was a nobody. I was a nomad. Nothing. To this very day, I still struggle with people asking me, what's your true intention? And I'm like, I've been telling you my true intention.
I've been like, why don't you fucking listen to me? I told you what I wanted.
In the end, I get it though, because it's like people will always. I've been like totally fucking like called out for being ingenuine or being like not truthful because I do things for stuff. It's like, well, I'm sorry for trying to strive for better or for my friends to get better, but in the end, I want people to do better than me. Thanks. And I think that's where I fucked up because no one should ever set a standard. It's literally just, you gotta pull a Hey Arnold. Just, okay, that's your life. That's what makes you happy.
You gotta live and let be.
Yeah.
Would you call that like, so, do you think this main character syndrome you're talking about, in a sense, do you, like, were you just watching a lot of TV and seeing a lot, like, comparing yourself a lot to people? Because I feel like a lot of times we feel like, like you said, having your ducks in a row, and everybody, like, the people that you're looking at that you want to be like, or things that you want to mirror, look like everything's totally okay, everything's totally fine, like, but we don't see the work that goes on behind that and what it actually is, right?
Yeah.
So do you think that you were kind of stuck in a place like that? Like,
I was stuck in a place where I feel like I wasn't disciplined in my own sense of the word, where I didn't do what I wanted to do, where I didn't grow up as hard as I did. Like, when I was growing up in life, I had implicit bias. I was a piece of shit.
Yeah.
It means implicit bias is literally diet racism. That's literally all it is.
I just actually, my girlfriend's a teacher. I just took these like tests for her.
Yeah.
Putting her on blast entirely. Like, she did not take her own test. I took them. But I definitely just learned that word, what it was. And subconscious racism.
But I'm not going to delve into that or anything. But what I wanted to say was, had I not had that stupid thing cloud over my stupid adolescent brain, I would have learned how to dance. I would have learned how to sing. I would have been surrounded by so many beautiful people, dude.
It sounds like regret.
Been a good vibe.
It sounds like regret, and so back to your initial statement. Mm-hmm. It sounds, because I feel like a lot of us are kind of in that place sometimes. Like, you get really upset about not your environment, the people that brought you in that environment. It's like, bro, why the fuck don't I know these things? Like, why haven't I seen over the hill yet? Like, that fucking sucks. Like, I should know how to swim. I should know a different language. I should know different things. And like, I kind of looked at my parents at one point. I was like, fuck you guys for not even like trying hard enough. But then I got to know my parents and recognize like how hard this world is. And it's like, no, they did. They tried their hardest and they kept you afloat and kept you moving forward.
One thing that,
so you can't be a dick about it. You know what I mean? You have to accept what it is, but it does make you upset. It does make you feel like you were robbed of something. It does make you feel like you weren't able to have this like type of privilege. I still to this day talk to people and I'm just like, bro, I'm so like jealous. Like, I'm so jealous. I can't run on envy, right? Like, I can't run on envy anymore and be any better than I possibly can anymore. I've already let it go. My bad. Let me finish this thought.
Yeah, definitely.
But like, I came to a place where I had to recognize like I was equipped with the things I was equipped for a purpose, right? There's a reason for it. And I didn't get what they got, but this is what I do have. And it's like, what am I going to do with the things I do have?
Yeah.
And then where do we go from there? But I understand how you can't let that go sometimes. That can follow you and piss you the fuck off.
I was gonna say that one thing that a good friend of mine, a mutual friend of ours actually, shout out to my boy Nate, he told me that one of the best things you could do is not harp on it. You know? Yeah. You can't harp on it because like, yeah, there's always going to be that thing in life. That's what's beautiful about it. It's a mass index of volumes of stuff you don't know how to do. Once you learn about it, that's your choice to whether you want to make, you're going to let that moment make you stronger, you're going to let it make you weaker.
Facts.
And
what are you going to do about it?
I will say that I know men that are older than me, like 68, their life is complete compared to me.
Yeah.
But they still insist that they got so much left. And I hope to be that kind of guy because, holding on to venomous feelings and just all this bitterness and all this regret and resentment, it's a hell of a motivator. Hate is a hell of a motivator. But,
always is.
But I will say that definitely things come at their own time. And in that same span of time when you start doing it, you'll start realizing, man, maybe this isn't for me.
Yeah.
Maybe this isn't, I'm not catching on to that because it's not meant for me. And that's okay. And I know that it's crazy because if I'm going to listen to this myself, I'm going to be surprised. But the real me, I'll just look at things like a game of poker. And if I see that there's an ace on the fucking thing, most people will get scared. Most people will fucking, get
we're always
pressure.
in fight or flight mode, right?
Yeah.
Trying to figure it out.
The minute I see there's a number 2 and another number 2, and I got a pair of 2s in my hand, I'm gonna throw that bitch down and I'm gonna knock that ace out.
I love how you talk in the stream of consciousness, because I feel like a lot of times it's easy to lose you. Like what the fuck is he talking about? But then it always comes back together. Yeah, I love that about you. That's so cool.
Yeah, because like in life, there's an opposite to everything. You know, when there's rain, there's shine. There's sad, there's mad. There's glad.
Can't have the good without the bad. Yeah, right? It just has to work that way.
It's a mix of both, and
it's opposites, polarizing.
It's very polarizing. But I only hope that, as bittersweet as it may seem, I just hope that everyone is able to kind of, improvise, adapt to the situation. And even to those who don't want to forgive others, that's fine. That's totally their opinion.
Totally I mean, that's where I started. I realized I was so bitter and angry at like you said, like that victory that was robbed from me, and then being made fun of or put in boxes of things that wasn't my fault. And I think a lot of shit that we have to deal with is not our fault, but it's now our responsibility. And it can easily make you upset, like, fuck, it's not my fault that I'm stuck in this box. It's not my fault I don't have enough money. It's not my fault I wasn't allowed these privileges that you got. Like, it's not my fault that I have to fucking wear holes in my shoes every day. And, I got holes. Like, it's not my fault. It's not my fault. But it's my responsibility to do something about it. And fuck everybody who's saying fuck me for it, as if, like, I can just fucking change it right away. Like, I can't. And I think a lot of people are stuck in that world. And, like, you look for somebody to blame because you have to deal with all the fingers pointed at you. You have to deal with the lonely nights. You have to deal with the bottles by yourself. You have to deal with the garbage.
Sometimes people need to understand that weird behavior comes from healthy coping mechanisms.
Oh my God.
Yeah, you need.
Let's talk about healthy coping mechanism because, dog, I entered therapy about 2 years ago. I'm not even sure. I'm terrible with timing, so I could be lying. It could be longer ago.
All I gotta say is God bless you for even having the stones to go to therapy.
Dog, that shit, it actually started because I thought I was trying to fix something that was never going to be fixable, but we won't get into that.
No, it's fine.
I went to therapy, and that's kind of the first thing I feel like I had to deal with. Like, I had to first of all forgive myself and recognize things that it's not your fault, but it's your responsibility. Either you're gonna man up and deal with the shit, or you're gonna sit there and cry about it all day, blame everybody else about it, and drink yourself into a stupor and die. Die before you're 30 and just be like, whatever, it wasn't my fault. You guys made me this way. But it's like, no, okay, yeah, you can find your way to point your fingers. But it's like, are we going to just point the fingers forever, or are we going to figure out where it came from? So I started with my parents, of course. I had to learn my parents. I had to genuinely talk to them and be like, yo, what was it like to be a kid raising a kid? You know what I'm saying? What was it like to keep a roof over the head for 4 fucking children and not ever have a day to cry or go out or do anything? You can't even see your friends anymore. So if we're over here asking you for fucking new bikes every day, you barely trying to figure out how to put food on the stove for us. You know what I'm saying? I can't imagine what you were going through.
Christmas around the corner and want the new Power Rangers toy.
Yeah, exactly.
And the motherfucker wants to get the car fixed so that we can go to Auntie's house in the winter. Fuck, man.
But you don't recognize shit like that, and it's when you realize how much shit people went through just to make sure you could have that new Power Ranger toy, you could just make it to fucking school every day, or have a new pair of shoes every season. It's dog, you start to realize, damn, it's not your fault either. You know what I mean? It's not your fault either.
I feel like let's say, as a parent, whatever, if I was to have a kid and he was going to complain about I giving him shitty gifts, all right, I'm going to put more efforts in the gifts I give him.
Facts.
I'm just going to make it look cool.
I feel I'm going to be one of those parents who's going to make my kids macaroni fucking pictures and shit.
No.
They're not going to like it, but I'm put my heart in it.
Straight artist. I'm going to get something for $15 and it's going to be big as fucking obnoxious.
Yeah.
And I'm going to fucking give it a fresh coat of paint.
No, facts.
And it's going to be something that they didn't think they wanted, but they absolutely needed.
No, and I think that's the most beautiful thing about it. I think, what show was that? That was on fucking Disney or something. Maybe it was Even Stevens or something like that. But some dude made, I forgot what the fuck show that was. But they asked for a new bike, but the dad made them a bike instead. I think it was a cartoon. I don't know what the fuck it was. But they were really upset about it. But at the same time,
at the end
of the episode, the message is that. It's
because that bike that he made ended up looking better than the bike you wanted.
Exactly. And it's the fact that I fucking made it and went out my way for you and shit. So that's the whole thing. But it's easy to be jaded and bitter about it all. But once you kind of just accept, it's all about acceptance, right? And then forgiving the people that you're blaming and realizing it's not their fault either.
As a man, I will gladly say that sometimes it's literally about being able to be emotionally mature enough to come back to the world that you once knew, regardless of what happened.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're going to look at it with a fresh set of eyes, and you're going to go up, once you pass over that hill, you're going to see endless rows of rifles with combat helmets on them. Those were the people that could have been in your life, could have stayed in your life, or just had all the stuff in the world, but instead, those are the doors I've closed for myself because of the decisions I've made. That's how I look at it as, and I think, okay, I'm not going to have this Thanos complex. I'm literally going to be okay. I'm going to make the best of what I can out of it, and from this little hill of ash, I'm going to make a fucking throne.
I love that. That's really deep.
Yeah, because sometimes, you're never going to get your purple heart, you're never going to get your silver medal. Sometimes you're going to give your own. And
you have to. Internal validation is way better than external validation.
It is and isn't. It is and isn't. It is and isn't.
I feel like we do a lot of things for that pat on the back, but like once you can give that to yourself, then that pat on the back means nothing. You know what I mean? Like, not that it means nothing. It always feels good. It's always going to feel good. But if you can, build your gun to me in a room by yourself and be like, I'm fucking proud of myself, and you don't need to post it on Instagram and get 1,000 likes and be like, yeah, you fucking killed it.
No, literally, I just put it on my story because I wanted it to be a fleeting moment.
Yeah.
Like, if I wanted something to be solidified and crystallized forever in the time and space, then I'll post it. Yeah. That's when I feel like I'll put the effort for it. But in the meantime, I'll just try to make sure that I'll be just as receptive as anybody else, because I know some people have their own way of adding value to their things, and some people post too much, some people post too little, some people just don't even post at all, and all they do is watch. God! I hate that, bro.
I'm kind of that person. I'm not gonna lie to you. I haven't been on my social media game is so down now, bro, because I'm just over it.
But you though, it's about you, the person, because was social media ruined, in my opinion, including dating. Back in the day, dating was about who the fuck you could find. Now it's literally, you got the whole fucking internet, all these options, and everyone is just shit. Like, no one is refined anymore. There's no such thing as a personality. There's no such thing as personal interest. It's just, I saw that, therefore I'm going to follow it and not make my own interpretation of it.
Oh, dude, you know how...
Oh, my God, whatever happened to that?
That's the thing that I kind of love about social media and all these other things, because, it actually makes you work for your personality a little bit. Because, now when I meet people, I'm just like, oh, that's how you operate? I don't want to be around you. Like, it's easy for me to be like...
Really? You be like that?
Oh,
that's a little dystopian.
It's easier for me to do... It's easier for me to pick them out. Like, if I could spend 10 minutes with you and we talk, and the only thing you can bring up to me is a TikTok or,
that would be a disgrace.
So I'm like...
If the first 10 minutes of my life is TikTok, that would just be like, yeah, straight up, sorry about that.
Yeah, no, I didn't see that new video. Like, no, I don't, whatever.
I feel like, here's the thing. So, I tend to have a little bit of a thing like that, where I would go up to people that are of esteemed, rich and enriched backgrounds, and I would come up to them as a simple Joe, and it would piss them off because it's like, here I am, having a fucking life of my own with all this lore and context. And this simpleton decides to insult me with his two-sentence phrase. Like, hold on. I'm not going to be the guy to be like, get off your high horse for a minute. But I'm also going to be like, check this out. And then they're like, wait. Whoa! And then that's when we get to be friends. Because... a lot of people will introduce you to things that you didn't know you need and want. And
you didn't know it all, did you?
Yeah, and I've had that same resistance too, where people try to introduce me to things, and I'm like, man, I don't want to go, man. Everyone's going to be fucking doing all this, and I'm going to be bored as fuck.
They're fucking whack. But sometimes you end up in places like that, and you're like, yo, you see some cool shit.
Yeah, sometimes you got to take a chance on it, man, because when those things are hit or miss, okay, that's you giving life a chance. Sometimes even something as simple as, can you take a picture next to my pet? Like, that could mean a lot to someone, dude. Like,
you never know how people feel and what that actually means to them. You're right. Yeah. Let's get into some of these topics you sent me, bro.
Let's do it.
Because this shit is everlasting and really, really cool. The first one I got written down is fucking Insomnia.
Okay. Now, definitely knocked it down in 1, 2, 3.
You said what?
I could knock that down in 1, 2, 3.
Yeah. I love Insomnia, bro. Not really. It actually sucks. And I think I still deal with it a lot. I had a moment of insomnia, like a great fucking moment of insomnia. I had my first girlfriend or whatever. We had I was with her for like maybe 8 to 10 years. So it was just all I fucking knew. Mm-hmm. And when we broke up, it was like, oh my God, like, who am I now? What am I going to do? Woe is me type of thing. See, I can laugh at it and make fun of it now, but at the moment, bro, I was hurt. And I was down bad, and I just didn't know who to be. And I could not sleep for some reason, I couldn't get my... it's funny, because at times like that, when you get depressed and you have a lot of anxiety, people often just sleep, right? That's all they want to do. They want to get out of bed. They don't want to go nowhere. But for me, it was like, no, I'm just up all the time. Like, I just want to create all the time. I just always want to be next to somebody because I don't want to be alone. And I couldn't call this person no more. I couldn't be with this person no more. And it fucked with me. And it led me to making, like, one of my greatest projects ever called the Insomniac EP.
I remember that. That was such a good EP, dude.
Yeah, wasn't it? Yeah. Thank you, dude.
Because even if I like, you know, had a fallout with you, I still listen to your shit because I'm not a dick. You know?
No, I think that is what made a lot of these connections that I have today. Like every day I would, of course I wasn't sleeping. If I did sleep, it's because I smoked some weed and I probably knocked out for 2 hours. I'd wake up at like 3 o'clock in the morning.
That's the healthiest thing you could do in that period of time.
Smoke a lot of weed?
No, just sleep.
Oh yeah,
it doesn't matter how you acquire it. Dude, I tell everyone straight, I don't care if you have to go through like 12 one-night stands or fucking like anything. Just go to sleep for 20 minutes, motherfucker. Like,
get some fucking rest to it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I'm really the opposite. Whenever I'm dealing with depression, anxiety, like and having a real episode, I don't sleep. I'm always just up and like in my fucking head.
Yeah.
But I would like be up and I would like at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the morning, I would call Nate. Like he would leave the door open for me. I would walk all the way from Lincoln Park all the way to fucking.
God bless that man.
Shout to Nate. Man. Just to put some context on this, if you guys are from Chicago listening to this. I'm talking about from Fullerton and Ashland all the way to Fullerton and Pulaski. I would walk that at 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, just in my head, listening to beats, listening to fucking random music. I would like either bang on his door, the door would be open, he would instantly just go back to bed, and I would sit on his computer for hours looking at beats, making shit on fucking, making like album covers.
Spot. Bro, one time me and my homie got out of a party because the fucking narcs ruined it, and we're like, hey bro, can we hit you up, man? No. And fucking Nate was right there like, hell yeah. Hey, man, y'all look like y'all anxious trying to smoke. And he's like, all right, man, y'all could chill on the fire escape over here. I have some people sleeping over at the crib, but I'm going to go to sleep, man. Y'all have a good night.
Yeah,
beautiful soul.
He always created some cool safe spaces. And that's my...
That's the homie.
Yeah, that forever. He saved my life 100%. I always told him that shit.
I don't care if any of these little ass girls have some drama with them. Fuck that.
I don't even.
He knew him. He's cool. He's cool. He's cool.
Whatever. But that's where I was at with my Insomnia, dog, and it led me to like creating this awesome project where I just stayed up every night trying to make music. 14 to 12 tracks of just clear pain and hurt, and literally it's the only thing I like dropped, and it got instant. Like as soon as I dropped it at 12 o'clock, like I think I got like at this time we were dropping things on like Hot New Hip Hop and shit. So. Damn, I'm old as fuck. But we were dropping things.
That's cool.
We were dropping things, and like the downloads, like it wasn't plays, it was downloads at the time. And I got like 27 downloads in like 10 minutes. It was insane. And I was like, I don't even think I know 27 people to do this. So it was clearly people who were waiting on it. And it was like the best feeling I ever had in my life with this music shit.
That's good.
And it was really, really dope. And that's what came of it. So like it gave me some fruits.
I hope to experience that one day.
That's awesome. But it was a really dark time for me. It was really, really fucking scary. Like, tell me about your Insomniac moment. Because that was mine. It was beautiful and ugly at the same time. I met a lot of cool people. I produced a great album. Although I was lonely all the time. I wasn't eating. I wasn't taking care of myself.
That's the most wholesome version of an Insomnia story I've ever heard. That's the first ever good ending I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I mean, don't get me wrong. It put me down. I mean, the people that I met in that time, a lot of them I'm not talking to anymore. Like,
yeah, I know.
But it was awesome though. I did meet some cool. Actually, you know what? Maybe my Insomniac moment was really awesome. It kind of was. That wasn't a good example of it at all.
No, I know.
So tell me yours.
No, yeah, definitely will. I will say for sure that like Insomnia has been like a lifelong battle for me. I don't even take it as a battle. I take it as a dance. Insomnia to me wasn't really a bad thing. It was always like my father would come home from work, and I haven't seen him all day. I was just begging to see him because he was like my best friend, my only friend. And he'd be like, hey, don't tell me your problems. Let's go watch some cartoons. And we pull up some Adult Swim, and we watch Cowboy Bebop, fucking Shin Chan, Prince of Tennis, fucking Inuyasha, all this stuff. And I'm telling him all this shit. He's like, hey, yo, you remember that guy you're talking about? Yeah, look what's going to happen to him. And he's just all these scenes happening. And he's like, man, don't worry about it. And it was like, man, that was cool. We had that going on. Insomnia wasn't like, oh, I'm anxious. I got bills to pay. I'm staying up. It was literally, hey, stay up a little longer. Your brain might get high as fuck off of it. And enjoy the things you like doing even more.
But you did it because you were waiting for your dad.
I did that. or just in general, just playing stuff.
I gotta say, that's a beautiful way to have insomnia. Like, I can't sleep because I want to see my father. Like, that's cute as fuck. It's like, it sucks that you had to do it, but like, it's cute. You can't say it's not the cutest shit ever.
It is, and I love my mom and stuff. I'm living with her to this day, but at the time, I just did not get along with her.
Yeah.
Or whatever. So whatever, that was it. And then like afterwards, it was like, oh, I play my PlayStation too long, or I would just be in my room and I'd just be like staying up drawing, or just. I would literally just... Insomnia traditionally was just staying up 5 hours extra from what sleeping was, which is 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. The average human being was a hardworking person. They would go walk back and forth to the grocery store, blocks away, hot-ass weather, no air conditioning, fans. By the time it's 10 o'clock, they're just exhausted. They want to go to sleep.
True.
That's it. Life got easier after that. And, like... I remember the digital age was something new to me. I didn't stay up and, go on Newgrounds or anything like that. I was literally told, go to fuck to sleep by the time I was 12. But even then, I was watching cable like that. So it's like, okay, just because I didn't touch the computer doesn't mean I wasn't going to go to another screen.
Exactly.
But then, like, afterwards, it just, okay. It was on and off. Once school started, I went to sleep, sure. I went to sleep like fucking 12 and 1, but I didn't know the concept of a clock. All I know is my brain got high at a certain hour when I got nice and fizzly. And then it was always that. But then, like, when everyone else's definition of insomnia came to me finally, yeah, my pops skipped town. My mom was my sole provider. And, yeah, I stayed up worrying about grades, where my life was going.
That's when the anxiety kind of came in for it?
Yeah, and I remember fucking the whole, like, man, I didn't want to smoke weed. Because, like, when I was, like, fucking 9 through fucking 14, 15, marijuana was being pushed in my face. It was all over the motherfucking place. I saw my friends on it and all this stuff. I didn't even know what the fuck was going on. I was weird, too, but I didn't know what the fuck was going on. And then, like, I didn't touch my first joint until I was, like, 17. Because I was tired. And I remember thinking, man, I said no so much. I said no, and everyone else was having a good time, and I was kind of being a black sheep at the time. And then when junior year hit, when I was doing ACTs, when...
They're just super stressed.
I was just stressed. That's when I fucking hit it.
Why do they put fucking, like... what's funny is thinking about high school is, like, they put so much fucking pressure on you to, like...
Because
be this person. It's like, bro, fuck you guys.
Do that. I didn't need my first meltdown. I didn't need any of that.
I didn't need that shit. I was 17 years old,
fuck my first crush, man. Like, fuck. I'm already happy when she puts on a sundress, bitch. Leave me alone. Like, fuck. And then there's uniforms. Dude, uniforms piss me the fuck off.
Oh, my God.
I was one of the last kids in my generation to see kids wear casual anything.
I think,
fuck, man.
I think that's just all set up to ruin your creativity. It's crazy because they always tell you to be who you are, like, reach for the stars, be creative. But then you put me in these uniforms, and then you tell me who I have to be, and I can't chew gum. And it's like, bro, shut the fuck up.
The reason why we have uniforms is so to take out the whole idea of classism and fucking sexual exploits that go on because someone got too fucking danky, whatever. But even then, I was thinking to myself, man, that sucked. There was a sterilization. Even the Japanese have ways of expressing themselves in uniform,
Facts.
But it wasn't like American where it was like, hey man, you can't wear open toe, you can't fucking this and that, all this other stuff. I'm like, man, you're taking the fucking good, simple pleasures of going to school. Like, we just want to see other things, man, and you're just fucking showing us stuff that of course we have to learn.
Yeah,
I mean, it's like, it's not going to serve me. Otherwise, I remember math. I remember telling, man, when is this shit gonna help me fucking gain custody of my kids? Let me get back to the subject of insomnia, for the love of God. So...
But no, that was a good point. When is math gonna help you gain custody of your kids?
Yeah.
Facts though, like, what is it?
Well, the Pythagorean theorem, right? But,
so how would you, so you dealt with insomnia with weed, you take?
Yeah.
I guess I dealt with it that way too. That's the only time I was sleeping. If I smoked a lot of weed and go to sleep for like 2 hours.
I didn't start smoking weed though. Guess what I started smoking?
What are you smoking, crack?
K2.
Oh, that's insane.
Nah, bro, I loved it, bro.
You love K2?
I was barefoot on the moon, bro.
K2, that shit is not good for you,
though. You know how I did it, though? I got, like, a fucking cup, a Disney-ass cup with, like, blue rims and a white interior, like, and I would put a candle in there, lighting like that, and I would get my pipe and a toothpick. And I would get my toothpick, and I would light the fucking thing on fire, and I'd get my pipe, Dude, let me tell you.
What the fuck?
Oh my god.
Are you saying that you put... Okay, so let me see if I got this fucking contraption right. You would put K2 in a cup.
No, I would put the fire source in a cup.
The fire source being like...
In a cup.
The flame.
The flame. And then I got a toothpick, and I had an apple as my pipe. An apple.
Okay.
And I put 2 holes in it so I could have a smoke hole at the other end. And I put the K2 on top of the apple, and I grabbed the toothpick, put it on the cup, lit the toothpick on fire, put it on the apple pipe.
Why not just put it in a blunt and smoke it? Like, why'd you do that?
I wasn't old enough. I was like fucking 17 at the time, dude. Yeah.
Shout out to you for being creative with your Insomnia, because I couldn't even think straight.
No, dude, I fucking you know Dumbo when he saw the pink elephants? Yeah, I fucking saw the pink elephants, alright, but no, after that, and let me conclude it on a good note. After a time, I'd say around 21, 23, I moved to the south side. I had to move back in with my parents, my mother, I guess. And it really hurt me in the ego, because it's like, man, imagine fucking screaming for freedom since 18, and you had to move back in where the hell began.
I know the feeling.
I lost it. I didn't sleep. I ended up in people's fucking property at 3 a.m. I was a mess. I didn't sleep because I was so stressed, because every time I worked, I told my boss, literally, yo, direct deposit that to my landlord. I'm like, what? And I'm like, yeah, I don't want no money, man. I just want a roof over my head. And I was just starving at that point, and I was depraved, and I remember it was so sad because I broke a lot of people's hearts, because when they didn't see me for a while, they were like, oh man, he just disappeared. And then when they saw me again, I was just, my eyes were fucking tar pits. My soul was a shred of what once was, and all you saw was a depraved man talking out of his ass. It spoke sentences, I spoke sentences, but none of it made sense.
I understand.
And it was such a sad thing, because people saw me as this sophisticated, young, quirky little lad. To see him so depraved like that, oh man, even me, myself, I fucking cried too. But then, what made me come back from Insomnia was breakfast. I remember I went 3 weeks without sleeping. I remember seeing Nate, and I remember seeing his mom, and I couldn't see them anymore because I was already lost. I was gone at that point. I was on Xanax, LSD, triple C's, all that stuff. I just tried everything to get me to go to sleep, and nothing worked. And I just remember sitting down, eating a nice pair of white, fluffy egg whites. And I just blacked out, and it was 7 o'clock in the afternoon, and the waiter told me, hey, you want lunch? Yeah. They gave me a burger with an egg in it and bacon, and they were like, you gotta go, dude. I know I do. Good luck. What? Do you need help? What do you mean? You gotta go home? Yeah, hey, sure could. Call me an Uber. I'm like, that's humanity? That's humanity?
People care. Is that what can I hit you like?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, my eyes were literally 2 globs of hot glue at that point. And I thought to myself, okay, at that moment forward, and that night, I've been questioning myself whether I was worth saving or not. I could definitely say I was able to answer that question that night.
I love that for you.
Thank you.
I'm sorry you went through that. That sounds like a really, really dark time. And I mean, we shared a
similar... It was an amusing time, and I asked forgiveness from anyone that I've ever popped up in their lives in the worst time, but hey, you were there, motherfucker.
No facts. And I remember, I think I remember pieces of the time. I just remember hearing about you and how far gone you were, but I don't think I ever got to experience you actually. But I remember, Nate saying like, yo, Brett's just kind of like not himself. Like he's just not all the way here. And I was like, fuck, that sucks. I get it. You know what I mean? Like I get not being yourself, but Yeah, I'm glad you came back from that because a lot of times like, I even know a couple people that went that far left and they never could come back.
Yeah,
it's like you open up, you crack the door a little bit, and for some reason it becomes completely ajar, and you never come back.
For a single moment, dude, it felt like I had the key to life. You know, insanity. Everything felt there.
Like you came out the Matrix.
Yeah, it did. But then I realized in doing that, I lost everything I loved.
Oh yeah.
I lost the very thing that made me human. Do I really want to transcend any further?
Probably not.
No, and then I said, no, fuck that. It's not worth it.
No, but it's a dark time to be in. Like, I remember it was, like, the loneliest time for me. Even though I had people like Nate and Alyce and all my homies, I had people that wanted to talk to me that, like, stayed up with me, that, like, let me come over early and, like, let me use their computers and play their video games and do whatever and fed me and clothed me and, like, kept me safe. But I spent a lot of time, like, sitting on bridges thinking, should I jump, you know? I spent a lot of time, like, there was this bridge. It's right there on like fucking Ashland and Webster. I used to walk over that bridge every day to go to Nate's when I was going through that Insomnia period.
Yeah.
And I used to sit on that bridge for like maybe 20 minutes, sometimes an hour, sometimes 2.
Oh my God,
and really just think like, do I want to continue this walk? You know, do I want to keep going?
Do you know how many times that bridge lit on fire? There is a homeless encampment, by the way, on that bridge. Usually full of, you call it Tent City.
Oh yeah.
And a man one time when we were walking by, he had a cardboard home. He was just making soup.
Right.
And we were just smoking. We come back, his whole house was on fire.
Damn.
Because he took a nap just from waiting for his soup to finish.
Oh yeah.
And the whole forest, the trees on the sideline, turned on fire.
Jesus.
And I thought to myself, if this is life, then it's one thing to me, and it's indifferent. It's not cruel. It's not good or bad. It's just sometimes there's things and they work and they have a function. And when they have a purpose, they will do exactly what they're doing. And simply put, it was just bad mathematics. Sometimes people say that math is the language of God and it's the things that make things operate the way they do. But I personally think that sometimes even the best mathematicians are wrong.
That's a cold way to put it, man. That's a good way to lead to the next topic, which would be escapism, right? So
my God, yes.
So like going through this insomniac period, all you were looking for is to escape, and all you want to do is sleep. Because I think that's the best form of escapism, right? Like, let me just go to sleep.
Yeah,
I don't want to deal with none of this shit,
and I'm gonna become a cute ass superhero. I'm just where they won't remember me. They're just gonna remember the good thing that happened.
Facts. Why don't you define escapism for yourself? I know, like, it comes in forms of disassociation. You know, there's unhealthy coping mechanisms that include drinking, smoking, sex. I remember a lot of times I was, you know, indulging in the ideal of escapism. It was always with women. It was always with drinking. And it especially was, like, with crowds of people.
Yes.
So I've like, put a bunch of shit just on my plate. Like, I was like, I'm either gonna work. Like, I'm always gonna be in the studio. I'm always gonna have a show. I'm always gonna be at somebody's house, like, trying to create something. Or I'm always gonna, like, call some girl and be next to her. I'm always gonna have a bottle. I'm always just trying not to deal with myself. I do not want to look at the man in the mirror. And I'm only gonna be around people who don't challenge me, right? Because I don't even want to be challenged on who I am right now and what's best for me. If I sat down with any girl and she was like, hey, do you think you should be drinking right now? I'd be okay, cool, I'm going to the next girl's house. Because I don't want to be reminded of how shitty I am right now. That's how low I was. Dude. It's bad. It's terrible.
Yeah, I used to remember that because I would literally be like, I had a car at the time. And it was a pretty cool car. It's a van. And
sorry, I'm not laughing at your van, but I just thought it was funny you said
that. Yeah, because you know the implications, right? Van. Like, it was a van, and I'm not even going to give away the nickname or anything like that of it, because only the true and genuine motherfuckers that have actually ridden in it know what it's like.
Yeah, it's a pit mobile, bro. I love it.
It's cool, but no, the point was this. I remember that when I had that fucking thing, oh yeah, the whole world wanted to hit me up, right? Because it was a moving bar. I was smoking my balls off.
Yeah.
And everyone else was trying to keep up. They're like, ooh. I'm just sort of like, and fucking smoking my fucking dick off, and then I realized, wow, I can outsmoke these motherfuckers.
Yeah.
And then I realized, wait, what's the goal? Wait, there's no fun in it anymore. What's the fun? Because if no one is enjoying it like me, because I'm going race NASCAR, and these people are still stuck in their, their limitations. Yeah, I need to respect that.
Do you feel like they were smoking for the experience and you were smoking to get away from something?
Yes.
And that's why you were moving so fast.
Yeah. Now I know what it meant to feel like Travis Scott. You're just fucking running through Astro speeds, and then you have these people who are clearly comfortable with their life, clearly settling with what they have. And me, escapism, I treated it as a fucking racetrack. I treated it as an accelerant. Because I'm not gonna lie, yes, I was depressed, but I was depressed in a normal kiddish sense where I'm like, I got yet to learn about the world. Maybe I'll brighten up after this. Yeah. It's momentarily. It wasn't ever like a permanent thing. And it wasn't anything enough to be bad enough to where it's like it hindered my performance. Simply put, like, escapism to me was just a boost of energy. It was a sprint of inspiration. It wasn't like where people will tell me like, oh, you're only doing this to get away from your problems, or you're not facing your problems. No, my problems are ever fucking present in my life. It's embedded in my personality. The only thing I could do is use my imagination to creatively attack it.
Facts.
That's what I treated escapism as, a boost of energy.
And that's honestly a good way to put that and a good way to do it. I think if anything, like your way was healthier than mine, because at least at some point you were aware of what was going on and like kind of just being.
Yeah, because when I had escapism, I'm not gonna lie, there was a period like where I relate to many people where I was just there in the sunder, just sitting still, just letting myself rot, and I had all this escapism, all these drugs, all this time I wasted, but I saw angrier faces. I saw dirtier faces. I have Aspergers. It's hard for me to read social cues. It's hard for me to recognize people's fucking me, because I've been lied to my whole life.
Is that what it is? Is that what makes you so quirky? You have the Aspergers.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is it about this guy? That's what it is. It's a superpower, bro. It's beautiful.
No, thank you. It's like I'm a little mole instead of a giant guy. Yeah, that's why you saw me running around in my car. I forget to do one thing. It's like, wait.
I'm like, why didn't he just reach over?
Why didn't he just reach over? No, because dude, I was thinking about the people that were gonna rob me from behind. Like, hey, yo, I was thinking, wait, can they rob me if my back is turned, or can they rob me if I'm my other way?
How is Asperger's? Well, one, can you define that for people who don't know what that is? And then two, can you tell me the struggles that you went through with that?
Number one, I'm going to paint it to you like this because...
Well, first, explain to us what it is.
Asperger's is basically... This is the only way I could put it. Imagine a human being inside their own astronaut suit.
That makes no sense, bro. I need you to try that again.
I'm just saying, that's... okay, let me just explain it to you.
Okay.
Imagine you're looking at a deep sea submarine diver as a human being.
Shouts to the Titanic.
Yeah. That's what Asperger's is. Those people were so secluded from society that they didn't have enough time to emotionally develop or anything. They're just eternal children. They're learning as they go. Okay. And they laugh at the strangest things.
So, like, you're stuck in child form then. Like, your brain isn't developed, it's not developing with your age, it's developing on its own.
And its own experiences in time. It's not developed with age. That's what I struggle from, and, like...
And what are the struggles that came with it? Is it... Because I understand not being able to pick up social cues can leave you in really awkward situations.
Yes, it has. Oh, my God, it has. I've had to defend myself. I've fought so many times. Like, I remember at one point, fighting was my favorite drug of choice. Let me just put it this way, because I like being lighthearted. When I was young, I didn't know about my face. I didn't know I mean mug people.
You didn't know you had like a resting bitch face?
I was just pissed off all the time. And then when they were looking at me, they were like trying to question me, but then when they're looking at me even further, they're like, oh wait, calm down, bro. I'm like, what are you mad about? No, man, chill. And I'm like, I just went into a corner and just turned away. And then my boy just, the same guy that told me, hey, you're cool, bro. I didn't know you fucking stare at people like that. I'm like, what? Like, yeah, you got a fucking death stare, bro. Like, I'm like, what? Yeah, you don't blink or anything. I'm like, oh, what? I don't blink? I'm like, yeah, you don't blink, bro. Like, yeah, my eyes hurt. You idiot, you gotta blink. Yeah, so I wasn't neglected or anything. I just didn't take care of myself. I had good parents. I dressed properly. I fucking had a loving family. Me personally, I didn't take care of myself. I was a people pleaser. I definitely was quick to make people smile, but when it came to myself, oh yeah, people looked at me. I was a wreck. My shirt was dirty. My eyes were black. My mouth was just. But this person they saw behaving was so immaculate, so genuine, so nice. It's like, why don't you take care of yourself? You would be the most popular kid in the whole fucking place. I didn't, because when I was young, I remember being a fucking outcast that left out and all this stuff. I'm like, wait, watch me be a fucking king while still looking like a fucking hobo. You know? And,
so that's the challenge.
Yeah.
And made it your own.
And I did my own, and I cleaned myself up more over the years. I took care better of myself, but it was far too late. Everyone's used to that now. And,
dude, isn't it crazy? Like, people always want you to do better for yourself. But then when you start doing it, they still hold you to what was prior.
Let me tell you this.
Right? It's like, bro, I'm no longer the hobo. Like, I took care of myself. It's like Aladdin wishing that he was a prince. Right? I just watched the movie the other day.
I think I can conclude the topic with grace that of escapism. That to me, escapism was only a means of dealing with the situation for momentarily, or found a boost of energy. But I do know the pros and cons of escapism.
Yeah. And
I will say definitely that it is up to the person how much they want to let that be a thing. Because in the end of the day, it's a detractor. It's a distraction.
Yeah, that's something that...
But it helps. It helps. It's very therapeutic.
It does help. And I think it's okay. I think there is a healthy amount of escapism. And it's a teetering thing, right? Because I feel like there's a healthy way to do it and there's an unhealthy way to do it, but they're both escapism. And sometimes you just need to walk away from things to like process them.
What people need to know too, like you said to me, that when they say, hey, you gotta do better to yourself, and then when you do better, they saw that you're better, outperformed them. And that's when they act like the way you said.
Oh yeah, they hold you. The
friends that I've had, yeah, it's like you said, I want you to do better, but then your better ended up hindering their progress. So it's like, okay, fuck you. We can still be friends, but let me do better in my own space then. Because everyone has their own ecosystems. Everyone has their own ways of doing it. When I was growing up in life, I used to think everyone was a human being. Now, you know what I look at people as, but I've seen the most lightest terms of the way? I look at people as spiders.
Spiders, meaning?
Tarantulas. Fucking all of the type. You know why? Because there's a web of chit-chat and talk.
Facts.
And that web, depending how well made it was, you're able to access that same fucking little spiderling and be like, hey, who are you? I am this so forth. Look at me, I'm a daddy long legs, but there's that little big buggard right there. You can go to him if you're interested in him. No, I like you more because you're more persistent. Whatever. That's what I think of adulthood. That's literally it. Every time I see a dude bigger than me, I question his intelligence. Every time I see a dude smaller or weaker than me, I question his integrity. But when I see an equal, and I mean an equal, it doesn't matter what shape or form they take, I take it as it is. Because maybe they will teach me one day. I used to be combative, and I realized to be combative is to be bored. If you know what you're able to do, then you're comfortable with your skill set.
You have the confidence, and there's no reason to like combat it at all.
Yeah, because I'll tell you this: because when I was humbled, was when I used to love like. And
you said when you was so you're not humble anymore.
I was humbled. I am humbled. Now.
Okay.
I was humbled. I'm an on and off going. I'm like a gag villain in people's life. That's all I gotta say. But
what are some healthy ways that you learn to escape?
Escape?
Like for me, it's I've learned from therapy and just because I think that's like kind of where I'm at in life right now. Like we're not running away from things anymore.
I'd say
like we're not we're gonna face the man in the mirror. Like, why did I feel this way? But like, I'm breaking down every piece of myself and even the people around me. Like, why did that trigger me? Why did this hurt me? Where is this coming from? And how do I deal with it? So lately, it's been like journaling, the shadow work behind it, meditating about it, going to the gym about it, and like that's the healthy way. I get rid of run away from it to process it and then come back and face it head on. What are some healthy ways that you've done it yourself?
Humility is the first one.
Humility.
I would get roasted. I would.
You think that's a healthy way?
I'm saying for me.
Okay.
Me specifically, because when I was growing up in life, I had people smack me in the head to literally get the information across. Now I know how to use my ears. I'm able to listen. But sometimes that same pirate love never goes away. So I have to go to a place where people have to bluntly tell me what it is. So I would do is that I would go to, a barbershop in my area where it's pretty underdeveloped. Mm-hmm. And I would tell them about my life story. And I would give them consent to roast my life. And they're shaving my head, and all of them right there. Man, get your big picklehead ass out of here, boy. You fucked up. You know you wanted to get some fucking tail from this shit. Boy, your stupid ass know you could have done better than all this dumb ass shit. Yeah, I would literally sit there, and I would literally take it all in. Because I realized, damn, this is what it means to be a man. You're a sword being refined through the hells of fire. So you come out,
iron sharpens iron, right?
Yeah, so that you come out shinier than you were before. Okay. And then when you're done, you know what they do to swords when they're done being polished, beaten, and brutalized? They get coated in grease, they get leather, they get polished, they get nice. And then you look at it and you see the fine piece of art that you see before you. And it's like, damn, all that abuse, all that fucked up shit just to make something that beautiful? Damn.
Interesting. Very interesting. So I like that. Actually, let me give you a shout out of recognition and what's the word? I don't even know right now. But I like how you're very interesting. You're a very interesting person, and maybe it's funny that you told me about the Aspergers because I never even put two and two together. Yeah. But it's the way that you talk about things and the way that you experience things that I think is a completely different outlook on life than me. And I love being around people that think differently than me, but we're going the same place. And I would say shouts to you for that because you're really challenging my thought process right now in this entire interview right now, and got me all over the place in such a good way. And I appreciate that from you, bro, because I'm really you're right. After you go through all that, then you do get polished and you do get lathered up and you do feel massaged and better.
Cool.
But nobody else would think about it that way.
They'll cool you down. They'll fix your braids. They'll literally give you a shot. They'll fucking serenade you in song. And then I realized, man, I guess this ain't too bad at all, but I guess it's me that makes my own hell.
Facts. It's about recovery. So again, I want to know what that looks like to you. And what exactly are you recovering from?
Recovery,
what does that look like for you, and what are you recovering from? I feel like, for me, I'm recovering from a lot of shit. I might be recovering from, addictive personality and, trauma, I guess. I'm recovering from a lot of trauma and past bullshit that I had to deal with and everything that works with it. To be honest with you, honestly, it's kind of hard to run away from. It's kind of hard to escape. It's kind of hard to recover from because you're always reminded. So it's gonna be the ghost. You really have to stop doing that.
Sorry about that. The hidden table. I'm so sorry.
It's all good.
All right, I'll definitely remember that.
So what is recovery to you, and what are you recovering from?
Well, I would say definitely I'm recovering from probably three things. DID, dissociative identity disorder. The second one would definitely be anger issues. And the third one, which is the most difficult, implicit bias. And that one, I'll start with that one first because it was the one I was able to get rid of first. I recovered from that one because I realized that it leaves you with nothing. It leaves you in ruin. Any passive-aggressive thought, any ideology, any racist squinklage of anything will leave you a life of loneliness. People, no matter how much tincture they have in their pigment, it doesn't matter. Humans are humans. And no one's perfect. Therefore, it's best to be the better person and just be like, all right, let's work together and see what we can do. But sometimes it's best to just leave things alone and go on the best and most amicable ways. The second one, anger issues, I always mixed it up with unbridled passion. I remember for the longest time, I used to tell myself, oh, why don't people just do better decisions? Why don't people just do this and that? It's because it's not what they want.
Either it's not what they want or they don't know any better.
It's just what they don't want. What they don't want, if they don't know any better, they know what's better. They're grown, but they just don't want it. And I have to respect that, because sometimes there's people that tell me, oh, why don't you do this and that? I don't want that. You see where it goes?
Yeah.
So when it comes to being angry at something or someone, it's like, okay, I have no right to be angry anymore. Bothered, sure. Entitled, not really. Pissed off, maybe. But to be angry, it just means that you had an opinion, a differing opinion that other people may either find controversial or just plain like, again, unbridled passion. You don't know where to put it? Okay, put it towards boxing, put it towards working out, put it towards doing any other thing. Sometimes anger is the one thing that fuels the need of man to want better. To not continue a lineacy or a cycle of bullshit, but rather a better way. And sometimes you'll get villainized for it. You'll get fucking martyrized for it even. But people will then soften up and realize, damn, maybe he had something to say. And as for the third one, well, which was the first one to begin with, so I guess I'm going backwards. I said fucking anger issues.
There's DID, I think is the one.
Dissociative identity disorder. Yeah, that was the hardest one, I guess.
What is that first? Could you explain that to us? What is that?
When I was growing up, I wasn't consistent. I was very unflattering. I was always changing. I would jump from goth to scene to punk to emo. I never stood to one thing.
I'm still all those things.
Yeah.
Still
and
like
I realized
pop punk emo.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at.
But then I realized you don't have to be one thing. That's called being dynamic.
Yeah, multifaceted.
Yeah,
and we're all humans, and that's how we're supposed to be.
It's okay to be multifaceted. And when you disassociate, means you don't want anything to do with it. It means a person's not happy with their inner workings. I was like that for a while because I had so many nicknames. I had so many egos. Yeah, I had to behave a certain way with people. I had to act a certain thing. I was fake as fuck.
We call it code switching now. Yeah.
Yeah, code switching, or just even like, oh, my friends would call me out for being disingenuous, when it's like, I was genuous with you the whole time. It's like, no, you're only telling me this because you wanted something out of it. I'm like, isn't that everybody else?
Isn't that the world?
Isn't that the world?
Aren't we all bartering something?
Yeah. and then I'm like, okay, I realize now what they're trying to go for. If I want something, I gotta not expect anything out of return. But oh yeah, I'm the one filling out the favors, so that's where I should draw the line to. And I realize, okay, I need to sit down, I think really hard, and settle with a name. Because I felt like I was a fraud. My personality type was the same. My inner workings was the same, but I wasn't happy with myself. I didn't have anything. Nobody remembered my birthday, for fuck's sake. So like I had to literally sit down and think, okay, do you want to be somebody, or do you want to be somebody's bitch? And then that's where I thought, wait, can I just be my own guy? Are those the only two options? No, you've always been able to be your own guy. And you have to be proud of yourself. You have to wear your intentions on your sleeve. You have to stick your head up, chin up high every day. You have to carry yourself like a fucking naval ship.
Yeah.
And no matter how rusted, no matter how damaged, no matter how battered you look at everyone in the eye and say, bring it.
I like that. Yeah. I feel like I'm in constant construction, constant recovery, bro. Like I'm always trying to better myself in some type of way, and mainly it's addiction and codependency. I recognize how much that plays a part in my life. Like, and it's crazy, like how we're breaking down these things, because like Insomnia became escapism became recovering, and so on and so forth.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm kind of good at this, but yeah, I'm like constant construction of that, bro, and like. Do you feel like you're always recovering? I feel like it gets tiresome. You know, like sometimes I'm like my girl, like she has this thing sometimes where she like, I know she wants to be better. I know she wants to get good at these things. But sometimes I see her kind of like, bro, I don't want to work on that shit today. Like I don't want to talk about it today. Like I don't want to work. Like I'm just over it right now. Like I'll
get to it tomorrow. And I used to be mad at shit like that. It's not just her. It's a couple people that I can see that do that. But as I've been on this like path of trying to heal and recover, I'm like, yeah, it does get fucking tiresome. Like, bro, I don't want to deal with my issues today. Like, I kind of just want to pretend like they don't exist. Back to escapism, right?
Yeah, you're right.
Like, that's the whole thing. Do you feel like you like get tired sometimes, and this is something you're still dealing with?
I will say for sure that for anyone out there that's just as multifaceted or deeply layered in the brain as us, I will say that there is nothing wrong with inhibiting your own villain era.
Oh.
Just make sure you don't hurt anybody or get yourself
Oh
an
my
actual...
God. Are we not all trying to like become Heath Ledger? Like,
yeah.
Are we not all creating our own Joker?
The thing is though, what made him so lovable was the charisma.
Oh, he's amazing.
He believed in what he wanted, and what he did didn't really cause all this mass destruction. He just made it look good.
Oh yeah, he killed it.
Yeah.
No, literally.
That's what people need to do. They need to make what their hustle is, make it look good.
In other words, if you're gonna become this villain, fucking do it with all your heart. Believe in that shit. Do it with confidence, and make us believe it all the way
I've always been more of an anti-hero.
Oh, I love anti. Like Deadpool is the homie.
Of course. But recently, I found out that anti-villains are a thing too.
Oh, are they?
Yeah. I was going to talk about this in a positive note. I was going to give this like 15 seconds. An anti-villain I recently found out is a character in a story, which could also qualify as a hidden villain, where the story had no villain at all. And this person comes off as this good-ass motherfucker with an unbreakable spirit and an uncompromisable moral compass. Mm. But due to a series of events beyond their control and circumstances that are just beyond their limits, they get contorted and evolve into a tragic villain, and thus resulting in a hidden villain. A hidden villain essentially is just a villain in a story that otherwise had none. And sometimes I realize that the good I'm doing did more harm than actual good, and I have to reevaluate and think, man, was it worth it in the end? Only I can answer that question.
Only you can actually know.
But in the end, I will say that if you do good things, it's because you expect nothing in return. As fucked up as that sounds.
Oh, well, it has to be that way. I mean, that's...
I never operated that way.
Well, that's the basis of manipulation, right? Like, I'm only going to do this because I know what I can get from it. And don't get me wrong, that's how the world has to work sometimes, right? Like, I'm going to come...
It's give or take. Yeah. And sometimes people, all they do is take. They're usurpers.
Yeah, all they do is take. But, you know, sometimes you have to give to take and take to give and so on and so forth. But I've learned maybe years ago, man, I think I was kind of like, just kind of built like that. I think my family kind of put me on that. But, like, just to be this integratable, is that a word?
Yeah. To be integral. Yeah. You need integrity.
Just having integrity and having loyalty and like taking care of people because I genuinely feel like doing it. And then I found myself being like, man, I did XYZ for this person. What the fuck did they do for me? And I'm like, well,
you'll be sorely disappointed.
Did you do that for that reason though? Like, you know, I had to question myself. I had to sit down and do some shadow work. Did you do XYZ for this person because you wanted something back or because you genuinely felt it? If I wanted something back, then I have to question myself and like go back to the drawing board to figure out what the fuck, why did I do this? I did it because...
Can I tell you the beauty about shadow work, though?
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure.
The beauty of shadow work is sometimes that it shows you the inner mechanisms and the inner workings of a person.
True.
And what you interpret from there is on you. But I only hope that when a person does something, another person on the receiving end of the benefit will use their brain a little bit and be like, hey, maybe I should throw a bone to that person. Yeah, I wouldn't be alive if it wasn't for that person.
No, facts. And you get to break it all down for yourself, and I wish more people did it more often.
If they were more self-aware, that's the thing. See, that's the one thing that psychedelics won't teach anyone. Sometimes you gotta be self-aware.
Yeah, them psychedelics get tricky. That's a whole other like path we can go down. When it comes down to recovery, if you could break it down to a step-by-step process, what do you think it starts with? For me, I think it would be acceptance, right? Like, you need to recognize what you're recovering from. You need to recognize, like, that you have something to recover from. But, like, what's the next, like, for you? What would be, like, if you could just give me 3 steps, 1, 2, 3, what would it be for you?
Okay. Number 1, assess your environment. Look at how damaged the playing field looks. Mm-hmm. Look at where our alliances are at. And look at the odds stacked around you. Number 2, you think deep and hard at what you did long. And when you do, you're just ready to accept the fact that you're not going to come back to a new silver slate. You're going to pick up where things left off. That way, the person will be strong and numb enough to accept what's going to happen. Otherwise, they will go back to their usual habits. And number 3, the most important one, when it comes to all recovery or anything, even if it means saving the ones and the zeros that make up your personality, it's this. Preserve the present. The past is gone. The past, shit.
Can't do shit about it.
Can't do anything about
it. It already happened.
The future doesn't exist. The future is bulletproof. The future is just there. But when it decides to show up, it will. The present, though, that's what the main focus is. That's where all things happen. That's where all decisions and the rest of life will dictate from there. When a person wants to grow the seeds of their future, it will be dependent on what their efforts, whether they were good or not, and whether they were ingenuine or genuine. And life has a way of, saying, yes, you are worthy. You definitely deserve it. Yeah. You will see people that are otherwise unworthy and they get everything. But then you have to remind yourself again, why were they in that position? Was it through nepotism? Was it through a lineage? Or maybe was it through a better skill set? I can only say for sure it was timing. Timing is everything. Everything. You could be the most loneliest, most nomadic, most isolated fucking prick on this side of the planet, and you'll probably pull off half the shit that I did. Mm-hmm. Because I was always that guy to be the last in line, the odd man out, just the last anything. If my name ever popped up in a conversation, it was always a fleeting thought, like, what the fuck, you remember this guy? Yeah, come out of nowhere. Fucking be that person. Literally, I will say that people are beautiful. They are always going to say some sensational shit, and a person could always go off about, like, oh, just because they talk shit about me, fuck them, I'm not gonna do it. No. Opinions quickly change. They always change. I just hope that when the day a man, a woman, or anybody decides to step up to the plate and be like, all right, I want to live life, okay. Make some mistakes, make some choices, but then after that, when the land looks desolate, apocalyptic, and indifferent, just take a step in the right direction. You'll be surprised how flowers still fucking bloom in the concrete.
I love that. Kind of wrapping it up, let's go to redemption.
Of course.
I think redemption is very, very important. But in a world of it is what it is, there's lack of second chances, there's lack of faith or belief entirely. And people want to make up for their mistakes, but you have this whole thing of cancel culture, and you say one wrong thing or do wrong thing, it's like you cannot come back from it. Like, how do you feel about that all the way through? Because, like, I hate the fact that, like, people don't want to give second chances. People don't have, like, faith or belief. Do I understand why? Yes, of course. Like, especially if you've been fucked over 1,000 times. Like, I get why it'd be tough to, like, give this person a second chance. Because I gave this last person a second chance, didn't work out. But I think in a world of cancel culture, how the fuck do you actually redeem yourself at all? And is it really that important?
You know what I mean? Like, is it really important? Well,
yeah, does it really even matter?
I'm going to say it like how the patron saint of redemption has said it, which would be Violent J from ICP.
Okay.
There are no bridges. There are no right steps. It's simply you click or you don't. If you don't, you learn. If you do, you still take notes. Because a person in the end of the day, when they seek redemption, is because they committed a mistake. Depending on the severity of it, maybe they'll get forgiven, maybe not. But when you get that one forgiveness, just remember that the person isn't changed. You've changed. Just not the person forgiving you. They never changed for shit. And it might lead to another fucking flounder or whatever, and that's okay. But what matters is no matter how many times you fuck up, just remember that it's the spirit and the thought that counts. Because people like to pretend they're doing good when they're just doing more harm. And when they do that, it's just making it worse for everybody else that's actually trying to redeem themselves.
One bad apple spoils the bunch.
That, or if a person's smart, like now, they would make their own opinion and be like, yeah, this guy did do some mistakes, but I met him. He was nice to me.
Fact.
He did nothing to me.
So I'm going to hold him accountable for what is with me as opposed to what I'm hearing. What are some things you're redeeming yourself from?
Oh.
Or that you're working on redeeming yourself from? Give me like one or two of those.
Well, I'll give you one or two of them, so I'll give you two maybe. No, two. Number one, I'm redeeming from the fact that I've had a fallout with a good friend of mine. I was helping her through her breast cancer, and I liked her, but she didn't like me back. She complained about nobody giving a fuck about her, but she had a fucking phone full of 20 motherfuckers hitting her up in the same day, so it's like, in that case, good luck to you. You had me, could have made a life together, but I understand that you didn't like me back, and I have to learn that sometimes life ain't cracked up the way it is. I could keep them as a friend, but they were just going to stress me out even more. Because they were always like, oh, nobody cares about me. But it's like, no, people care about you, you just don't care about yourself.
Preach.
Yeah, so to them, I hope for the best. Because regardless...
But you're trying to redeem yourself on like letting that person go? What are you saying? What?
I am.
Okay.
Because all I did was laugh in front of their face. Because I've been hurt, Rio. I've been hurt, Alyce. I've been hurt so much, and I have to still learn how to adapt. And I'm trying, and I'm doing, and I will gladly take the challenges that come in front of me, because the one thing that Albert Einstein told the father of the atom bomb was, you can do all the good you want, but they will crucify you, they will martyrize you, they will even despise you. But don't do it because you had a reason. Do it for your team. Do it for your friends. They don't want the stage. Just seeing you succeed is enough for them. And give them back. Help them out.
That. I like that. Do you ever feel like a person can get caught up in their redemption story? Like, it's always like, I'm climbing up the hill, I gotta show and prove that I am this person.
Yeah.
And you get so caught up in trying to rebuild that mask.
The same person that did the person that did Coney 2012 was that.
Yeah.
And he got so crazy that he ended up fucking naked in a fucking San Diego park and jerking off. I had that moment once in life. I'm not doing that.
The moment of going to the park and jerking off, or
no, just fucking going crazy and thinking I was gonna be the next Jesus. The whole ego, man. It's a drug. It's a drug.
I do think I asked that question because I wanted to make sure I wasn't the only one, and I'm confident in it. But I do think
humility is for sure the one thing that keeps people rooted to the ground.
Yeah.
You always need friends to tell you straight up, yo. You need a social attorney advisor. You need to tell someone, yo, as your social attorney advisor, I need you to shut the fuck up.
Facts.
You need someone to tell you, yo, chill.
Yeah.
And I know people get mad because they think they're spinning some truth bars, but it's like...
Nah, shouts to my best friend. I gotta call her every time and be like, yo, am I tweaking? Yeah, honestly, you tweaking.
Yeah.
You need somebody to kind of like put that off on and be like, yo, I hear you. I know where you coming from.
You can't, you can't be friends with other crazier people. Let me tell you this right now. You can't be friends with crazier people.
Say that again.
You cannot be friends with crazier people. I will tell you this, and I'm staring at the camera. I say this because when a person's genuine with you and they want the best, that means you got to do your responsibility and like actually fulfill your end. Because when they see that you're floozing on your end of the stick, that's when they let their original agendas, speak up, and that's where the fallouts begin. No facts. Because it's okay. A best friend will tell you the shit you needed to hear and you didn't want to hear. A shitty friend will let you fuck up your whole life and still suck away from
Yeah, still sit there like, hey, you want to go out tonight? It's like, bitch, do you not see me drowning here?
Fucker, I got like $2.38 in my fucking account.
We
gonna buy me a drink.
Yeah. No, facts, bro. Hey, thank you so much for talking to me, bro. Thank you so much for unloading and telling me some of your trauma and some of the things you dealt with. I know it's not easy. This process is never easy. It's like we're sitting with each other and we're holding the mirror up against each other and we're asking each other to share that. And I know it's a tough place to be. I think people are kind of scared of my podcast sometimes when I tell them like, hey, sit down with me, because I don't think they really want to uncover these things. It's like, I feel like they don't want to go through the healthy coping mechanism of it. So I appreciate you so much.
Thank you. And I will dab my cup to you.
Cheers.
I appreciate the space that you've provided for me, because it's very rare to go to a place where I can actually come to you and be like, yo, here I am.
Yeah, and I want you to be bare all the time when you come with me. You're safe. You're safe here. And
no,
I might give you shit every now and then.
No, that's fine. But just remember humans, do good. If you get called out for your shit, don't take it as a bad thing. Everyone loves you. And, it's like you said, Rio. Alyce, more importantly, it's always good to keep adapting. It's always good to keep trying. And more importantly, keep doing. Because one day, you will be put to the test. And I'm just going to smile at the exam.
Ladies and gentlemen, clap it up for Burt Fondue, man. Thank you so much for coming through. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much, man.
Already broken, they been this numbing wow. I hide my feelings in liquor, I spill my mind to the crowd. I feel so lonely and bitter, it takes so much just to smile. They took another brother